Alright, are you ready for an update on the Star Seller program? Etsy has just released an update for more edits to the Star Seller program, which does have me wondering if it's going to actually play a part in search in the future, because they seem to be working on this and improving it and modifying it, but time will tell. Anyway, let's get into it. So Etsy has just announced a number of updates. I've got the thing right here with all the details, and I'm just going to briefly summarize and go through it and share my thoughts with you today. So this is released on the 31st of May 2022, which is basically today as I'm recording this. I saw this update in a Facebook group and I'm like, want to share that with you guys ASAP, because I know there's been a lot of chat around Star Seller and I've done a few videos on it previously. I'll put a card here to some of those. So they talk about a couple of updates that they are making based on feedback from the community. And at the end of this, I'll put the link to this in the description. At the end of this article, they actually have a survey link. So you can fill in the survey and give them your thoughts on the Star Seller program. So if you have thoughts, please share them in the comments, but also I recommend you do go over and share them with Etsy themselves, because it looks like they are making changes. This is the second lot of changes they've brought out to the Star Seller program since they launched it last year. And some of them are improvements. I still don't think it goes far enough, but hey, let's look at the details. What they say is that these are designed to address key pain points and make Star Seller more achievable for sellers who provide excellent customer service. Great, because if that's what it's all about, there are some things that should be changed, as I've discussed in previous videos. So the first thing they've done is simplifying the ratings criteria. They said that the ratings criteria, we heard your feedback, it makes it hard to achieve Star Seller because it only considered 5-star reviews, right? So, and it's a rolling 3-month period. So if you have one 4-star review in that time, it could possibly knock you down. And that's what they're talking about here. So they're updating the criteria to a 4.8 average rating in the 3-month review period, so that 4-star ratings count more positively towards your eligibility. In other words, it won't be quite as hard to get knocked out of Star Seller for getting 1 or 2 4-star reviews in that period. I think that's great. They say here 85% of shops with a review in the past 3 months have a ratings average of 4.8 or higher. So basically they're saying here, you know, most people should hopefully be able to achieve this unless you get an actual bad review, like a 1 or 2-star review. And also, I don't think I did a video on this, but just quickly, if you haven't already noticed, and they do mention it here, you can now respond to any review. So it used to be that you could only respond to negative or 3-star and below reviews, but they've updated it quietly. And now you can actually respond to every review you get. So you can respond to your positive reviews as well, which I think is really great because it gives you an opportunity to, again, show your level of customer service. Okay, the second thing they say is streamlining messages. Basically what they're going to do is, they say here, in June, we'll introduce a new and improved messages experience that will start to combine messages from the same buyer into a single thread. Can I get a hallelujah for that? Oh my goodness, finally. Like, so frustrating when either a customer doesn't understand the messaging system, or say you've dealt with them in the past and they've come back and then they start a new message and then you have to find old message. It's so much easier if it's just all in one thread. And that sounds like what they're going to be doing, which means, you know, a lot of people have had an issue with Star Seller where a customer has messaged them multiple times using multiple threads instead of just using the one thread. And they've been dinged on Star Seller for this because of that. So that's one way that they're changing things that will hopefully, you know, make it more likely for you to get that messaging aspect of Star Seller. And also remember here, they've actually done separate badges now as well. I talked about that in a previous video. I'll put a card to it, that you can actually get the 3, the fast shipping, the fast responses and the high reviews badges separately now, even if you don't qualify for all of them, which means you're not technically a star seller. But if you don't qualify for all of them, you can still get one or more of those badges. Like at the moment, my shop has the good reviews badge because I don't do tracking on half my orders, so I'm never going to get that one. And my messaging was like 89% or something, so whatever. Anyway, they also do mention here, and it's a good point, if you're going to be closed over the weekend or you're going away, you can set up an autoresponder, and that counts towards this. So you can set up an autoresponder and people get that automated message, and that'll count towards your star seller. So if you're like me and you take the weekends off, that's a good way of keeping up with it if it's something you're worried about. The next one, I think this is really good. They said they're lowering the order minimum. This is a big bugbear I had with the initial program, is that you have to make a certain amount of sales at a certain order minimum to qualify. I mean, if it's about having good customer service, what does that matter? Anyway, they do also have a 90-day limit. Like, because star sellers based on the rolling 3-month previous period, they don't let you qualify until you've had a shop for at least 3 months. Okay. So they've changed the order minimum down to 5 instead of 10 within the rolling 3-month period, but the orders will still need to total $300, 350 Canadian, 350 Australian, 200 pounds before postage and taxes. So I wish they would get rid of that personally. I don't honestly see what the amount you're selling has to do with this. I mean, maybe it's an algorithmic thing. Like if you have like one thing in that time, then the algorithm can't really give an honest answer as to whether you're a star seller because you've like sold one thing to one person. But still, I'm not a huge fan of this aspect of it. So that's all the changes they're making for now. They do say over the coming weeks and months, we'll share more in-depth updates on each change and tips to help you get closer to becoming a star seller. This is just one investment of many we'll be making in our seller tools and programs over the next few months based on what we've heard from you. And they have a follow-up link here and the survey, like I said, that you can fill in as well. The thing they link to is an article called Delivering Value for Etsy Sellers. They kind of basically talk there about what their focuses are going to be moving into the new year. I'll just give you a very quick summary because I think it's interesting. Bringing our sellers a global audience. So they talk about how much money they've spent on advertising outside of the US as well as inside the US. Building a trusted brand. We're strengthening marketplace integrity, improving customer support, and optimizing trust signals like Star Seller. This is stuff they talked about. I talked about earlier when they announced the fee increase, which I also did a video on. I put a card. They talked about this is what they wanted to spend the money on, was improving customer service for sellers, also getting rid of more resellers, i.e. people selling non-handmade goods on the platform. They talk about how the incredible growth over the last few years has required them to add significant resources to more effectively enforce their policies. So they invested $40 million in trust and safety efforts in 2021, and they're investing even more in 2022. Enforcing our handmade policy and cracking down on resellers will be a vital focus area. Last month, they launched the Etsy reporting portal, making it easy for creators and brands to protect their intellectual property. I'll put a link, and they're improving customer support. They said this year we'll invest more than $50 million to enhance customer support, including growing our customer support team by more than 20%, expanding our improved live chat support, new processes to optimize most urgent requests, etc. So look, that's all good. They do have a section here about listening to our sellers as well. I'm going to put a link to this as well. I know I went a bit off tangent here, but I think this is all very related to each other. Understanding, the place that Star Seller is playing in Etsy's plan going forward. I'm not super concerned about Star Seller. I really don't think customers really notice over much, especially on mobile. It's not, when you're on desktop, it's right there at the top of the shop. The details are more obvious. I think it's a little less obvious on mobile. I still don't think it's a huge deal, but I do appreciate that they are listening to people and altering the program to make it more achievable for people who actually are doing a good job with their customer service. I'm still not a fan of the tracking metric. I really don't know that that's necessary. I understand why they have it there. I still don't like it because obviously it affects me and it affects a lot of other people who either don't do tracking or do like local pickups and things like that. There's no way for them to indicate that they've finished, apart from clicking that the order is completed, which really I think is the metric they should be using anyway. So I think it's helpful to understand in the greater context of what's going on Etsy. So I'll put those links to the Star Seller update and the other update below so you can check them out for yourself if you would like to. I'd love to hear from you as well, of course, as always, your thoughts on this at this time. Let me know below. And if you want to watch any other videos about Etsy, I'll leave my playlist right here. I have tons of videos all about Etsy and how to succeed on the platform. So go check that out. I've got heaps of content there that will help you grow your Etsy shop. I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss it. Bye for now.